Hello, my name is Olga Bazanova. This is Olga Bazanova's painting studio. Now I will show you how to depict glass, the basic principles of depicting glass. When we depict glass, we first need to make the surface that is behind the glass. For example, if you have some kind of shade behind the glass available, there could be a drapery or a tulle or a background. Anything. You definitely have to outline it. Next, there will also be a shadow under the glass. And of course, there can be light in the shadow. Because now I'm going to show you the glass. For example, we'll insert it here some stem. The glass is written transparent. Well, here are a few stems. Next, take whitewash and see what kind of glass is greenish or bluish. And you form a vase. The color of the one you have glass. We form on this side. Next, we also formed on the right side approximately a vase like this. We need to have an understanding of where we have light. For example, we will have light from here. Accordingly, glass is written like this. It is based on the glare part. The glare part usually comes from one side, where there is light. And then the light itself in the glass. It seems to penetrate right through the glass. And the brightest place appears in the place where there is usually a shadow part, or even a reflex reflection from other surfaces in other objects. Therefore, the light penetrates through the glass, and the glass seems even more transparent due to this. There are also a huge number of reflections in the glass. The highlight is placed without light. That is, we will have the color on this side and the highlight on the glass can be located almost on a dark surface. Why is this so? Because with the glare, the light falls into this zone. And as if in an ordinary surface we have glare, light, semi-shadow, shadow, and reflection. Then in glass it's the other way around. Also on glass on all bends, if for example you have some kind of bend in the glass, then from the light part where we have light there will definitely be a glare in this place. A small glare. For example, I'm now making a vase like this. And according to the shape of the object, the glare always goes on the glass. According to the shape of the object, that is, if we have an oval, then the highlight goes oval. If it goes some element horizontally, then it goes horizontally. There are additional glares on the glass. For example, we can put other lighting on the right side and give the feeling of warm light on the right. Then we can have some kind of warm tint. A warm tint, yellowish for example, can also have such a glare from an additional light. Source dot at the junctions here we will have a darker one. That is, we can suggest and show our bottle or vase in that format so that everything can be seen. Here are blue shades, darkish. It all depends on the environment. You can often emphasize, for example, in the background, areas that are light, shading the background. We seem to make that foreground more convex. Where it's light there, we emphasize this edge with dark. Or vice versa, where the dark part is there with light, where the light is there with dark. Another moment when we paint glass, we have the opportunity to quite easily put it in pasto large stroke. That is, the white stroke can be quite large on the glass. And this can be done from the point of view of drawing. Because in painting the most voluminous are the light areas. If we have a bottom, we can see in the transparency of the glass, even the bottom, especially if it is convex. Here I emphasized it with a shadow. And now let's imagine that we have a shadow falling in this vase. This shadow will be shaded, but it can reflect the light in this part. Why is that? Of course, the farther the shadow is from the jar, the more shaded it is and disappears. For the reason that the highlight passes through this light one and penetrates here. It reaches this area and is reflected in the shadow part of the jar. If we want to glass pour water, then you and I will also need a bluish and whitish tint, and we distribute it according to the shape of the object. Here we have a round vase. That's why we distributed some water here. There are often objects that are refracted when standing in water. That is, you can make these the details are as if they are in a magnifying glass or in a lens. Especially if there is a round object. If there is a round vase, then the refraction is stronger. And the glare parts on all the elements where we have joints. But they are almost invisible, of course. This is where the stalk is immersed. For example, here we emphasize it inside our surface here. Also, in addition to bluish, there may be gray areas, there may be dark areas on the vase. Another important point is that if our vase stood differently, then all the light would be encircling the edges. Then our highlights would be placed exactly at the edges. Here, and the light area would appear right in the middle. This could also happen. Also, on some areas of greenery and cuttings, we would catch the light that goes along the contour of each cutting. This is if we have light it comes from that side, from the background, and not like in our picture from this side. I showed you so many techniques with glass, but I'll repeat the basic principle again. The principle is this. When we paint glass, the darkest part will be us closer to the highlight. The rest will spread into a lighter shade and go towards the light. In the place that will be opposite to the highlight. For example, now I made a glass ball like this. The shadow will also be closer to the subject. It will be darker, then it will be in the lighter one will diverge. And the light will penetrate into the shadow and also give a glare. Here are the basic principles for painting glass.